Great to be here with you all and sharing a bit about what Binance is about and what we're doing in South Africa. From what I understand from Daniel, you all are using Binance, which is great from our perspective. I think that there's a few nuances that I perhaps want to touch on that are important to the South African audience tonight. The first thing, let me go through the presentation, then maybe I'll get into some of those subtleties. So just to share some information. So Binance, I'm going to do a presentation for about 10 minutes, then share some insights, and then I'm open to some questions and answers. So Binance, really, we believe in the freedom of money. And I think that, up until now, we've taken some freedoms that we have for granted. Certain countries, even now, don't have things such as freedom of the press. And until recently, there's been views that we don't actually have freedom of money. And for the first time, cryptocurrencies actually allows that sort of freedom of money for people, which I think is something very, very exciting. Binance's vision as an organization really is to try and build the core infrastructure to allow that freedom of money to take place. So it's not just about providing an exchange platform where people can buy and sell cryptocurrencies, but it's far beyond that in terms of education or hosting cloud services or anything like that Binance looks at. So we really want to become the core infrastructure behind the future of financial markets and what we believe will be the future of money and financial markets. Binance is an incredible success story. So for those of you who don't know, we rated as the #1 cryptocurrency exchange in the world by trading volume. It took us just 165 days to get here. If you know what a unicorn is, it's a company that reaches $1 billion in revenue once you reach that point of view. And Binance, I think, reached it in about 4.5 or 5.5 months. So they did incredibly well from the day they started as an organization. And CZ, our CEO, puts a lot of it down to luck because he just launched at the right time during 2017 when cryptocurrencies were really taking off in the ICO era. But I think also it's been an incredible effort from a committed and focused team, a very, very hardworking team, and one that I think a few people struggle to keep up with. So it's very exciting from that part for me to be part of Binance. Okay, so the big news is that at the Blockchain Africa conference, we launched that we were having ZAR deposits into South Africa and withdrawals. Now, what this actually means is up until now, as many of you know, you might have had to buy Bitcoin on another cryptocurrency exchange in South Africa, one that accepts rands or fiat, and then you would have to transfer those Bitcoins to Binance, and from there you could trade in the Binance ecosystem. But essentially, by us opening up this fiat gateway, we are banking with Standard Bank, and you can directly deposit rands now into Binance and withdraw your rands directly out of Binance once you trade on our platform. I know that from a user experience perspective, I personally have fed back to Binance and said, the user experience on Binance isn't always easy. But I think one of the core things is that Binance has grown as a crypto to crypto exchange. They weren't a fiat to crypto exchange. So our user experience is very much built around that crypto to crypto experience for people, as opposed to how do I put rands in. But it is something definitely that the team is working on very actively. Even since we've gone live in March, they've made a number of changes to the platform to try and make it easier for people to understand how to follow the fiat flows. But yeah, it's just something that we are building towards. And I think that the longer term vision is to try and bring as much fiat currency into Binance as we can, because we really do believe that this is the future of finance. All right, I see my screen. Oh, there we go. Okay, so just, Binance is so much more than a cryptocurrency exchange. And I wanted to briefly touch on some of the other things. First of all, you'll see there that there are a number of fiat currencies that we support, with the rands being one of them. But we've also built a very, very sophisticated exchange platform. So that exchange platform provides future and margin trading. Please, people, if you're not a sophisticated trader, it's really not something that you should be looking at. We've got Binance Lending, or we've rebranded it recently to Binance Savings. We've got a P2P, meaning peer-to-peer platform. There's staking and then the fiat gateways. But this core is really wrapped around a much broader service offering, where we have a very big charity focus. So, for example, Binance just donated 15,000 PPE suits into South Africa. They went to the Department of Health in the Western Cape, being the province that's most affected by the COVID virus at the moment, and that donation was worth quite a substantial amount of money, particularly in SA Rands. We've got the Binance Academy, which is there purely to try and educate people about cryptocurrencies and blockchain. We've got Binance Launchpad, which is about new projects. There's Binance Chain, Binance Cloud, a research arm that tries to do some independent research, and then Binance Info, which is really there to provide completely transparent and independent information around what Binance is about, and also, more importantly, around what a lot of the coins and the cryptocurrencies are about that are available on the Binance platform. Now, Binance currently, we trade more than 50% of the market volumes around the world for all the big listings of cryptocurrencies, and we're trading about $2 billion a day that is moving through our system. There's probably, I looked at some stats, it's about 1.4 million transactions per second that the platform is able to trade and settle. So that's huge volumes going through it from a liquidity perspective. We operate in 180 countries around the world. So really a huge offering to every single country. We've got team members in about 40 countries around the world, even more so now. It's very interesting. People, no one in Binance really asks me where I am. We've got people who work on the South African business that aren't in South Africa. And then we've got people in South Africa that don't work on South Africa. So it's quite a strange mix, but really a large dynamic team that ranges from Singapore, Shanghai, all the way to the west coast of the United States, with some colleagues in San Francisco. So it's really is a large team. And then we have a user interface in more than 15 languages at the moment for people not speaking English. Yeah, I think this is a very important thing for yourselves, is that Binance literally is inundated with applications on a daily basis of people who want to have their coins listed on Binance. And when I first joined, they said to me, you will get approached by many people wanting to have their coins listed. And it's probably the most common question I've had since I started. So I started, I think, the 15th of January, and I've probably had 30 requests so far from people saying, how do they get their project listed on Binance? The listing team is a very, very separate team from the rest. Even CZ doesn't have any say in which projects get listed or not. And as I say, they're inundated with applications, but there is a very, very high standard and vetting process that any new coin, token project needs to go through, where less than 3% of the projects that actually apply to be part of Binance actually end up being listed on Binance at the end of the day. So it's a very thorough due diligence that takes place across those coins and projects. And then Binance, finally, we've got something called the BNB, which is our native Binance token that we use on the platform. You can use this. It's got various utility values. Really, the vision of CZ is that this, like Bitcoin, becomes an international currency one day that people can use. But even more so, which is nice, is that it's you're able to actually use this to pay for your trading fees on Binance. And if you use your BNB tokens while you're trading, you actually get some, you can actually pay with those tokens. And if you do pay, you get a discount on your trading fees on Binance. So, and the coin has been doing very, very well. And I think its adoption and growth is happening every day, which people can see for themselves. And then these are different use cases or different organizations that are actually using the BNB token at the moment. So it's just to show you how widely it's actually been adopted right now. And there's actually 2 slides on that. So a number of projects are making use of it. So that's just a very, very short overview about Binance. There are some insights that I wanted to share as well, just from my personal perspective about about, you know, joining the ecosystem in South Africa, some personal views, perhaps where I've come from in this space. So, you know, I've come from quite a traditional financial markets background, but I got into cryptocurrencies and particularly the institutional blockchain space in about 2015. Everybody asked me, oh gosh, because, you know, you must have made good money and you must be rich from getting into cryptocurrency so early. And I always say, no, I'm not. Because I think the first time I bought, you know, I think the first time we all buy, we put in, you know, a few hundred or a few thousand rand, and then the price goes up and you end up putting in a bit more the next time, and then the price goes up and you think, oh, let me put in a bit more this time. Well, I'm one of those classic people, which I'm willing to admit to everyone, that I took my Christmas bonus in December 2017 and I invested all of it in cryptocurrencies at the time. And for any of you who've been in this space for a long time, you'll know that I still have not broken even. So I'm a real hodler when it comes to cryptocurrencies. I saw my husband was teasing me last night because everybody was saying how the Cardano coin was doing so well. And I was like, oh, I own that. And it went up 20% in the last 48 hours. And I thought, oh, maybe I've made my money back. Well, I think it went to 7 cents, 7 US cents. And I think I bought it at $1.10. So I'm nowhere near making my money back. So if you want any trading advice tonight, I think I'm putting it out that I'm probably not the best person to ask. If you want some deep insights into how cryptocurrencies work, and you know what I think it is important for South Africa and the ecosystem in general around the world, I'm more than happy to share some insights there. So Daniel, I don't know if you'd like me to chat a bit more, or whether you would like me to leave some time for questions. I'm more than happy to answer anything.
Tanya, we're definitely going to take some questions, but you can share if there's one or two more things that you would like to share. I know your level of expertise, your knowledge in the space is so much wider than just Binance. Maybe you can just say one or two things about that.
Sure. So to provide a little bit of context, I chair the South African Financial Blockchain Consortium, which is a consortium.
Tanya, you have to repeat that. You have to repeat that.